Yep, I'm back. I said I had a story I wanted to tell you. Uh, when we moved here to Perry, Arkansas, moved in this house, we had plenty of room. And one of my nephews uh, came to live with us. And we all, at that time, we was attending a little building assembly that's 1 block from our house. And in front of that building assembly, they had one of the most stand-up basketball goals. You know, the kind you can buy at Walmart. You put the sand in the bottom of the big plastic thing, and it's just a basketball goal. And we would go down there because I enjoy shooting hoops. You wouldn't think it, but I do. But we would go down there with him, and we would shoot hoops. One day we were down there, and I sat there and I dribbled the ball and shot a couple of free throws from the free throw line that we had drawn out there. And I was sitting there, and he was watching me, and I'd shoot and I'd make it. I'd shoot and I'd make it. I'd shoot and I'd make it. And I dribbled one time, and I said, "Watch this." I dribbled, and he was watching. I said, "Now pay attention." I dribbled the ball, closed my eyes, shot, swoosh. Blew his mind. He said, "You can't do that again." So I dribbled the ball, closed my eyes, swoosh, right in the net. No rim, swoosh. He said, "How'd you do that?" I said, "Do you want to learn?" He said, "Yeah." Oh boy, he really wanted to learn this thing. How to shoot a free throw with your eyes closed. Uh, and make it. That's part of it, is making it, hitting the mark. Uh, so I walked him through it, and we worked. He would come home from school every day, and we'd go down there and we would shoot hoop for hours. And then we'd come home, and the next day, same thing, back down there until he got to where, and y'all have seen him the first day he did it. He dribbled the ball and he closed his eyes, and he could hear the net go swoosh. And he got so excited he couldn't do it the next time. He missed it completely. I said, "Okay, now calm down. Let's get back in the routine. You dribble the ball, make it. Dribble the ball, make it. Dribble the ball, close his eyes, swoosh." Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to let y'all know something. Limpy, don't you jump over that gate. I got my dog down here. Walking in the Spirit is the same thing as that. It's something that we do repetitively, and it becomes a part of us. That's the same thing as walking in the Spirit. I can't walk in the Spirit one day and then not do it for a while. I have to dedicate myself to walking in the Spirit daily. I have to watch my thoughts, my eyes, what I hear, what I listen, what I take heed to. See, we can hear a bunch of stuff, but we don't have to take heed to it. And the same thing as shooting that ball. The free throwing is easy. You're standing in the same spot every time. You dribble the ball, your body is in the same position. It's mechanics, and you shoot. If you do your wrist different in the shooting each time, you're gonna mess up. It has to be the same form every time. Same exertion, same pitch. Everything has to line up in order for us to do them things. And it's the same way as walking in the Spirit. Now, the Lord tells us how we walk in the Spirit, and that's being filled with the Spirit, under the influence uh, in Scriptures. But I just wanted to throw this out there. A lot of people would just say you can't do it. I met a person today, and it broke my heart to see the words spoken by this man who is supposed to be a teacher that says we can't stop sinning. Yeah, we can't stop, as a saint, we can't stop sinning. And we shouldn't tell people that we need to stop sinning to be forgiven. You know, if you, If you haven't stopped sinning, you ain't been forgiven yet. When are we forgiven for the sin of unbelief? When we stop that sin and we start believing. It's the same thing with every other sin. If we don't stop it, I did a video, does God always forgive? And the answer is no. Because Paul points out so many of us are in a worldly sorrow type of repentance, and God don't forgive that. It's like getting caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You know, it's what it is. A lot of times, your conscience feels guilty. You know you did wrong, so you got a little worry, sorrow, and you cry a little bit and confess to the preacher, God forgive me. Then the next week, and in your heart, you really have no intention of stopping that sin. When is sin birthed? When we give in to the desires of our flesh. That's when sin is birthed, conceived. And when sin is finished, it works death. So, shooting that free throw with my eyes closed is the same way that we stop sinning. God has told us how to. God has given us the tools to do it, the ability to do it, the access to everything we need to stop sinning. First John says it best, little children, I tell you to sin not. He tells you, sin not. John don't say, well, we can't help but to sin because that's who he is. John says, little children, sin not. But if you do, we have an advocate. That's the little children. When we grow up into young men, we're supposed to stop sinning. I had a brother one time told me, man, he said, I got so many sins to overcome, I don't know where to start. That's an honest brother, ain't it? You know what I told him? Pick one. Pick one that you hate, that you say you hate the most. Well, I hate them all. No, you don't. You don't hate them because if you hated them, you wouldn't be doing them. You say you hate them. So pick the one you say you hate the most. And he told me what it was, and it was, yeah, he needed to stop that. I said, okay, now go to God with that one. Just take that one to God and let God, and I don't care if you got to go to God. If, okay, it was, his issue was the man thing. I would hope you catch my drift. You know, he when he took showers, he washed somewhere too much. Okay, I said, okay, so you know that that's the danger zone for you as a shower stall. So before you go into the shower stall to take your shower, what do you need to do? You need to submit to God. Submit to God first. Got to submit to God. Resist the devil, and he'll flee. You got to prepare yourself to go take a shower as not to commit that sin, that transgressional sin that you say you hate, but you really don't. Because when you hate it like God hates it, you'll stop it. Now I've got to speak it. I just had a little story to tell you, and I got to speaking again and preaching again. And look. My heart is about one thing alone, and that's for the perfecting of the saints. I have no other reason to live in this world anymore. None. I mean, yeah, I have my wife I have to take care of, and I have our dogs that I take care of. But my reason for living today is for the perfecting of the saints. That's it. You know, I, I saw something the other day. Let me see if I can pull it up. Addicted to the ministry. Man, this hit home with me when somebody showed it. I read it, but it never hit home. And this hit home the other day when I read it. It's in 1 Corinthians, what man calls 16. And I've always used 13 a lot. 13, it says, watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit you like men. In other words, act you like men. Be strong. Let all things be done with charity. I beseech you, brethren, you know the house of Stephanus, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, and they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. You know, I used to be an addict. Full blown. I shot meth. I shot cocaine. I smoked it. I sold it. I ran drugs in 6 counties. I ain't done back in that day. I was addicted to that lifestyle. I wasn't addicted to the drugs. Honestly, I was addicted to the lifestyle more than I was addicted to the drugs. But see now, I can understand what this means, because I know what an addict is. They have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. You know, one of these days, old Brother Anthony's going to take his last breath, and I pray to God I go home to the kingdom. But you know something? If there's one thing said about old Brother Anthony after I've left this world, if it could be that right there, that would be the legacy that I would want to leave among the saints. That Brother Anthony was addicted to the ministering of the saints. Why? Because he loved them that much. So, I'll let y'all go. Hey, if you ever want to learn how to shoot a free throw with your eyes closed, come look at me. Look me up, and as well at the same time, we'll help in learning how to walk in the spirit full time too. Hey, I love y'all. I really do. And I'm always praying for you. And I'll see y'all next time around.